Hi, this is my review for MailPoet for WordPress. It's an email system. It promises to be similar to systems like MailChimp and MailerLite and things like that. It's a good system. There's things I have problems with it though. My main problem is this sign up confirmation. Now, this is a double opt-in, so if someone signs up to your mailing list, then they'll get an email and they'll be asked to click on an activation to make sure they really wanted to subscribe to your email, to your newsletter. I can understand why they would do that to protect their email server rating, but that's that double opt-in is really to protect MailPoet, and it's not providing anything of value for our actual subscribers. In my case, I've written a free introduction to branding and marketing, and subscribers are invited to download the book by entering their email address, and they'll be subscribing to our newsletter, which they can unsubscribe at any time. Okay, so here they would put in their name and their email, the captcha, and press submit. The link to the book would then be sent to their email, and obviously the only way that they're ever going to get this book is if they actually have a valid email address. Now, because I'm using Formidable Forms, Formidable Forms also has a great add-on there to add the subscriber to the MailPoet list. I'm just going to go into Formidable Forms for a moment so you can see the different add-ons that it has. I was so happy to have gotten Formidable Forms, by the way. I find it really, really powerful. It'll automatically add subscribers to HubSpot or to MailChimp. As you can see, it's actively adding them to my MailPoet list, which is great. It's got integration with Zapier and WooCommerce. It's a very powerful Forms plugin. So I just thought I'd mention that because that's what I'm using to add people to my list. And of course, with this MailPoet, even when I add them to a list, and based on the fact that they needed to have a valid email address to go onto there to receive the ebook, they'd still have to do the sign-up confirmation anyway. And if you're familiar with AppSumo deals in the past, they had one called Clear Out, which was very useful for me because it helps me scrub the lists. So let's have a look at Clear Out. I bought a couple of codes for this, and glad I did, because I maintain a number of lists for different clients as well, and this will validate 20,000, take advantage of 20 plus email verification check, sorry. It will validate, and it's sold out now. It might come back if we're lucky. So 500,000 verification emails. Wow, eh? Pretty good. So, and it's very powerful too, because I was having trouble using a client's MailChimp account, and it said that the list wasn't clean, and I ran it through Clear Out, and no more dramas. So MailChimp doesn't insist on a double opt-in. MailerLite doesn't insist on a double opt-in. And a number of other different providers don't. Now, to be fair, a lot of the different options I've talked about, and as well as other ones from AppSumo, such as Snovio and Lemlist and AutoClose and more, some of them don't have their own email sending service. They are just using SMTP, or authorizing it through Google Gmail, for instance. And there's some of the other approaches that the other ones take. But MailChimp does send through its own server, and it doesn't ask you to do a double opt-in. So in my quest to get rid of the double opt-in, what I did was I just set it up with my own email service, and then it was problem solved. So just coming back to MailPoet and having a look at the emails, I'll point out another small limitation. Now, I've sent out a test, landed in my inbox fine, again, because I had the SMTP set up properly. I'm using WP Mail SMTP to make sure that it gets sent through my email server rather than through WordPress. That has a much better chance of landing in the inbox that way. Now, let's go and edit this test newsletter. As you can see, you've got content here on the left, and it's a drag and drop situation. And I like the builder. It's just fine for my purposes, so I'm happy with that. And as you know, sending emails and making them look good on an email client is basically you're designing using tables. And so, well, I'm going to assume that this all turns into an HTML table, and that's great. So I've got a designer here for HTML tables. I'm going to assume that's what it does, because that's generally the way you design email, because email's so old and it doesn't render HTML like browsers do, and there's so many different email clients out there, you never know exactly what it's going to look like. So tables are one of the ways to make sure that it looks the same on all your email. So I'm quite happy with that. One of the limitations, I thought, compared to MailChimp, because they are comparing themselves to MailChimp, is the actual triggers. And that is extremely limited at this point. Basically, you've just, see if I can find it. Not forms, not lists, not segments, it would be here under forms somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. So perhaps under edit. What I'm looking for is how often this gets sent. Whoops, no, sorry. Not forms. Being silly now. I wouldn't use their forms. Obviously, when I've got a powerful form builder like Formidable, that's the only form builder I use or recommend. I mean, I know there's other ones out there that are great, Ninja and Genesis and everything, but Formidable, for me, super powerful. You can't believe the different types of advanced questionnaires I've done in Formidable. Anyway, this is not a review on Formidable, so I'll get off that subject. We'll get back onto here. So here's the statistics, that's fine. What we really want to do is edit when this gets sent. Maybe the welcome email is a better one to look at. So welcome email setup. Here we go. This is the one. So it gives you the option of when it's sent here. Now, if you're familiar with what MailChimp has like a nice flow chart of a trigger system, and it's also got a section in MailChimp called campaigns. So you know, and that's a lot more powerful than this. When someone subscribes to the list and you nominate the list, it gets sent immediately, or in an hour or a day or a week, and you can nominate how many hours, how many days, how many weeks. And that's it. That's the extent of its scheduling. So not really advanced as MailChimp there by any means. I, in MailChimp, have set up in the campaign section sequences of emails that get triggered depending on whether things got clicked in the last email or not, and things like that, which is a lot more advanced. But for my purposes, look, I think this is going to work just fine. I'm going to give this plugin a 4 out of 5 stars review, especially considering the value it represents when you've bought it from an AppSumo code, because one payment and you've got it there for life. It's impossible to get a lifetime on MailChimp, and I can imagine that the feature list here will grow over time, and hopefully the legacy members get those new features, because a lot of plugins work differently. You know, you might get the lifetime for it, but as they roll out new features, you're restricted from getting them on your old plan because they want to force you to upgrade. Must admit, Formidable's done that to me a little bit with some of their new templates and things like that. But again, look, this is not a review on Formidable. This is a review on MailPoet. I'm only bringing it up because these two plugins talk to each other nicely, and I'm really happy with that, so that the setup time on my end is minimal. Reaching out to help from them, it wasn't a fabulous experience, because I just wanted to make sure I was correct about that double opt-in, and unlike support systems on other different platforms, the minute you submit a support request, you get an automated reply saying, thanks, your support request has been received, and then it might go on to say, please expect a reply. We usually get back to people within 2 to 30 hours or whatever their time frame is. They might also add whether they're open on the weekends or not, and that would be very helpful from a user perspective when they're submitting a support ticket, to have that confidence that the support request is actually in the system. In my case, I asked for a support on Friday, and then it was actually the following Monday that I received any type of response, at all. So a 3-day waiting period to even confirm that they'd received my support request. So, I wasn't blown away with that. I'm sure they can, I'm sure that'll be one of the things they improve pretty quickly. I would if I was them. Anyway, so for now, that's a 4 out of 5 stars, which is pretty good. Like I say, I will be using this, especially because I like the template builder, and it'll be just easy to maintain my list internally, and it's also nice, that I think I got the double code. I think that caps me out at 10,000 people on the list from memory. We can quickly double check that by looking at AppSumo MailPoet. Let's just have a quick look at what it's capped out at. Okay, so 510. Yep. So I 10,000 subscribers. For me, I'd be more than happy, once I get to that point of exploring what else I could do, because I don't plan on getting 10,000 subscribers anytime soon. I've just got a very small list at the moment, which I'll be building up. So I think this is going to serve me really well into the foreseeable future. Unlimited websites, unlimited emails, unlimited listen segments. This to me is very, very fair, and I think that's pretty good value, actually. And so, I'm just going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. There's always room for improvement, and I'm pretty sure it will. I'm pretty sure I could come back to this and say, look, now it's 5 out of 5. I really do think this is much better value. I've just given a review from another WordPress product called WP Tables, and I wasn't quite as impressed with that one. I gave them 3 out of 5. Yes, it does what it says out of the box. It creates tables, but it can't merge them. But what I'm really here to talk about is the value for this. You can only apply this to 3 domains, and then 6 and 9. For anyone that's been on AppSumo for a few years, you'll realize that this is the new trend that has started. Once upon a time, it was unlimited domains, and then some bright spark decided, hey, we can put a cap on that, and we can incentivize people to buy more codes by limiting it to this 3 domains. I think this is a little bit cheap, especially for what this is. I mean, all it does is build tables, and that's, I've already got things that make tables, like one of the past deals, for instance, that Elementor had, that AppSumo had. Let's have a quick look at it. It was an Elementor add-on program. I think it was the Ultimate Add-Ons from memory, and Essential Add-Ons. Okay, let's have a quick look at Essential Add-Ons. And I think this has got tables in it as well. And it might not be quite as good a table experience. Or it might even be a little bit better. Let's see, advanced tabs, call to action. I'll just do a find here for table. Pricing table. That's not quite the table I was looking for. Okay, so it wasn't this where I have access to tables. It was somewhere else. I think it was from the Astra theme Essential Add-Ons table widget, I believe. Let's have a look. Table widget, yep, there it is. So let's have a look. So Ultimate Add-Ons for Elementor. Whoops, sorry. Table widget, yeah. So let's have a look at the pricing. They also offer a lifetime deal with the Ultimate Add-Ons. Now, this is unlimited websites, lifetime. It's not just tables, but a bunch of other stuff. And this is why I'm criticizing the AppSumo is meant to be, it's meant to be the entrepreneur's friend and offer outstanding value. And I just don't think that 3 domains and all it does is do tables, and it doesn't even do that the way I would like. So yeah, and that's just explaining I'm just comparing here now. I know this was a MailPoet thing, but this is also a review on the AppSumo deal, and I'm explaining why I'm only giving this one 3 stars as opposed to MailPoet's 4 stars, and that's based on value as well as usability. So there you go. So anyway, thanks for watching the video review here. Love to hear some feedback. I'd love to be able to improve these reviews for you. So if you've got some feedback for me, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I'll make sure I take that on board for my next review.